guys, I don't have much time, so I just wanted to show you a clip of what I saw. People.
He was mapping our universe. He found error correcting codes in our universe, which you would find in a program in a computer. So this is a realm. I think what we're seeing as far as reality, it's actually not what it seems at all. There's declassified documents called they released this years ago, something called the gateway process. In the gateway process, they show that our universe is nothing but a hologram projection, and it's energetically charged. So everything is energy. Everything is a projection per se. This is why manifestation, pulling things to you, is very real. And people who don't believe in energy, I pose the question, do you believe in the sun? That's one big ball of energy. You wake up to it every day. So I think what we're living in, and it will be disclosed maybe sooner than later, I don't think that, again, it's not round nor circle, but it's something completely else differently.
People gonna say, oh, where you getting this shit from? But I'm gonna be straight up real with all you motherfuckers out there. You got 2 good years. It's just me saying it. 2 good years to enjoy your motherfucking life. Go places you never thought you can go. Try a threesome if you want to try the motherfucker. Who gives a fuck? Go outside on the motherfucking park lawn and do the freaky motherfucker McNasty with a motherfucker. The reason I'm saying shit like this is because y'all not understanding. Everything on these apps is about, we gonna fight with one another, keeping you divided. And y'all motherfuckers biting right into this shit. All these lies I'm seeing, that's all I'm seeing is lies. One group pitted against another group. Now you're starting to see so many racist videos with people got black face things on their motherfucking comments shit. Ain't nobody stopping none of it. But the reason y'all have to understand this is because the time is almost here. All this shit is about to happen. Cat Williams said the year of exposure. But see, the thing is about Cat Williams, everybody was loving him for exposing what he really wasn't exposing, but what he was told to do. Y'all ain't get that shit, did you? Even on the Kevin Hart show. Hate a motherfucker that much, but, oh, the money got me here. Dude, you just let the world know it's about money. So was it money that made Cat Williams say it's the year of exposure? Getting everybody prepared. The movie 2073 is something I'm recommending every fucking human being see if you can possibly do it. It's going to explain everything as to what has happened and what is going to happen and what you and I cannot do about it. 911, remember that? But there's something in this movie that explains some other shit that happened at the exact same time 911 happened. China. Look at the movie. It's going to tell you right when that happened. And President Bush declared war on terrorists. Why did China do the exact same thing at the exact same time? Oh, yeah, it's all in the motherfucking movie. But here's one that's going to get y'all. Looks to me, China's the real superpower. Watch the movie. I'm telling y'all what I know. And facial recognition, body recognition. Listen, when I tell you, this future is gone. And everybody talking about, we're going to protest. Hey, y'all better cut that out, too. Because in that motherfucking show, it tells people that these databases, data centers that we getting, man, it's keeping track of all that shit. Everything we talk about, do all this shit is going into a certain database. And guess what? If they feel you are against whatever the fuck's going on, they coming. That's what I believe. I'm just saying that. For entertainment purposes only, this is all made up shit. So that's what I believe.
it was a woman, right? She went to the hospital. She went to several different hospitals. They diagnosed her with leukemia. They diagnosed her with cancer. They diagnosed her with everything, all right? They diagnosed everything. They told her she was about to die. They said, well, out of everything we diagnosed you with, there's nothing that can cure you. You have to just die. So what she did was, she got a place in California. She hired a caregiver for her so she can just die in peace. The caregiver was in the room and she was like, just take me outside. I just want to go outside. She go outside. The moment she go outside, she get attacked by bees. The bees are attacking her, stinging her. The caregiver run away, the bees are attacking her. She woke up 3 days later feeling better. The bees just cured her. See, a lot of people don't understand what's really going on, that their venom that they put in her attracted the cells and destroyed the bacteria that was in her body.
Hey man, my people, man, I need y'all to really make sure y'all tapping in, because once June 29th hit, this probably the last week of anything comfortable, fam. Once June 29th hit, June 29th through 2030 ain't gonna be the same. Like, the world gonna go through a lot of drastic changes. Once CERN shut down, I'm trying to tell you, the earth and the frequency of the planet gonna kind of go back to its organic state, because they no longer fucking with the atmosphere. They no longer fucking with the energy in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? So this gonna get a sun. This gonna give the ability for the sun to fully kind of do its job, and this gonna start fucking with the air, and the air is a whole deity, which is a titan. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna start fucking with the air titan, and the air titan gonna be able to kind of tap in more than a little bit more, and then the air titan gonna help us crystallize our bodies even more. You feel me? Same with the water titan. You feel me? So you motherfuckers need to really make sure y'all tapping in, man, to your intuition and y'all discernment, because the deeper we get into this shit, the more shit is gonna happen. Like, the more shit is gonna happen where we forced to isolate, or we forced to only rely on our internal selves, because we're gonna come upon times where, like, we ain't got nobody we can go to, fam. The only person we got is our internal. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta make sure we really connected with that. You know what I'm saying? And we tapping in with that, so we ain't lost out here, fam, because most of our families fucking bots, fam. So we can't be bots and our families. Then at that point, we all lost around this bitch, man. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers got to make sure they really doing that, so that when shit hit the fan, we prepared enough to lead our family, which can happen so forth and so forth, which can lead everybody else, which can create a bit, you know, just to keep adding on into the army. You feel me? So we just got to really make sure we tapping in, man, for real, because the shit that's finna come, bro. Like, I ain't trying to scare y'all or nothing, but shit's just finna come. It's finna, yeah, you feel me? Like, y'all know what I mean. So make sure y'all tapping in, man, for real. I'm out.
Individual named Fitz. My testimony will touch on this matter, and I've been asked to approach with extreme caution. The incident at the Bayside Marketplace in Miami on January 1st is currently classified, and I've been instructed to refrain from divulging certain details due to the ongoing nature of the investigation. However, in the interest of transparency, I will provide what little information I am authorized to share. A New York resident we will be referring to as Fitz was indeed present at the Bayside Marketplace on the night of the incident. The DOD has confirmed that Fitz may have witnessed something classified. Reports indicate that this individual captured footage of the event in question, footage that, as of now, remains classified and has not been retrieved by the federal government. This footage, if revealed, could have profound implications, not only for national security, but for how we understand these events. The American people are not aware, but due to government protocols, we have never had a situation where a civilian has had footage of this kind.
Pattern recognition saves you from a bunch of bullshit, but it also makes you feel like you're crazy. Because most people around you don't have pattern recognition. They don't operate off of pattern recognition. First of all, because most people are not neurodivergent, so of course they don't. Don't get me wrong, I've lived in the moment plenty, but it's mainly because I've had to like ignore what was going on, like your tone of voice, the way your eyes are looking at me, your body language. I've had to ignore stuff to actually be in the moment, or I've had to like inhibit myself. I've had to smoke or drink. I've had to dumb myself down in some way just to be in the moment and enjoy the moment. Because my pattern recognition be on at all times, and it be fucking it up for me. And sometimes I really just be envious of people who just know how to be in the moment, and they don't really think about anything else. Like, I really be envying that shit sometimes, because it's like, how the fuck do you do that? I just be paying too much attention to shit. And also because of like traumatic situations I've been through, my pattern recognition is even more intensified. And it's like, bro, this shit is so exhausting, man.
So CERN is set to close down on June 29th, 2026. Okay.
Again.
It'll be shut down for 4 years until June of 2030. So that's fun, especially given that they're building a new one, which is like 10 times the size of the current one, something like that.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Where?
I'll show you. We'll pull it up in a second. So the last time it shut down was between 2018 and 2022.
That was a fun time for us all, wasn't it?
Listen, I didn't think that there was any like unrest around the world at all, right? There is zero doubt that between now and 2030, the entire world will be radically changed. That's for absolute sure.
I have goosebumps.
And this is all happening as AI emerges as this thing that is going to literally completely change the whole world. You got to ask yourself, doesn't it feel like that all kind of came out of nowhere? You know what I mean? You're like, I know they've been talking about AI, whatever.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it
just like popped up one day and it's like, oh, ChatGPT's here.
And
here you go.
They didn't like it. They didn't like that I posted that. So I'm going to repost it. The United States has a patent called the Voice of God. That's all.
Okay, before we get into the spiritual and conspiracy side of this, let's first talk about what people are actually referring to when they bring up this patent called the Voice of God. Because a lot of people have heard the name, but I don't believe that everyone knows exactly what it entails. The basic idea behind the technology is that sound can be directed in a very specific way. Instead of broadcasting audio across an entire room like a speaker does, certain technologies can focus sound into a narrow beam so that a person standing in one spot hears something, while someone that's maybe standing nearby or close to the person, or maybe like even in another room or something, they may not hear anything at all. So it's more targeted. Now, imagine experiencing that without knowing that the technology exists. Imagine hearing a voice that seems like it's coming from nowhere. You know what I mean? You can probably understand why people started calling it the Voice of God technology. And this is where things get really interesting, because the moment people hear about a technology that can seemingly place a voice inside of someone's awareness, the conversation immediately moves beyond technology and into consciousness. People start asking questions like, if technology can do this, then what else exists that the public doesn't know about? And honestly, that's usually where the conspiracy side of the conversation begins, not with proof, with possibility. Because whether someone believes in government secrets or not, history has shown that governments, corporations, militaries, even intelligence agencies, they have always been interested in one thing, and that is influence. Influencing behavior, perception, influencing public opinion. That is not a conspiracy. That's human nature. Anyone who wants power eventually realizes that controlling people's actions is difficult. Influencing what they believe is so much easier. And when you look at it through that lens, it's easy to understand why this topic captures people's imaginations, because it taps into a much bigger fear. The fear that what we're thinking may not be entirely our own. Now, I do not want you to assume that every random thought in your head is being transmitted by some secret device. Most of the influence that's happening in our lives is not coming from some type of technology as of such. It's actually happening through repetition. It's happening through media, social conditioning. It's happening through the information that we're exposed to every single day. But here's where the spiritual side of this gets fascinating. One of the biggest themes that you'll find across spiritual traditions is the importance of discernment, the ability to distinguish between what is truly yours and what you've observed from the world around you. Because if you've ever sat quietly with yourself long enough, you've probably noticed something very strange. Not every thought feels the same. Some thoughts feel reactive. Some may even feel fear based. Some feel like old programming that you've been carrying around for years. And then, every now and then, there's a thought that feels different, clear, almost like it arrived from a deeper place. Some people call that intuition. Some call it higher consciousness. Some call it your higher self. Whatever language you prefer, that experience itself is surprisingly common. And that's why topics like this pattern create such powerful discussions in spirituality, because they force us to ask a question that goes far beyond technology. And that question is, knowing what we know about the government and remaining balanced with that grounded approach as well, how do I know which voice I'm listening to? You might ask. A lot of people may wonder that. The voice of fear, conditioning, the voice of my own wounds, or the voice of something deeper within myself. Now, if we want to put our conspiracy hats on for a second, there's another angle that people often bring up. What if the most effective form of influence isn't making people do something? What if it's making them believe? Hear me now. What if it's making them believe they chose it themselves? Now that's gangster. I'm just saying. Think about it. The strongest influence is often invisible, not because it's hidden in some underground facility, but because it feels normal. Because it's been repeated so often that nobody questions it anymore. And honestly, I think that's where the real conversation lives. Not in whether there's a secret machine talking to people from the sky, but in recognizing that human consciousness is constantly being shaped by what it consumes. Every belief system, every ideology, media platform, I mean, they're all competing for space inside of your awareness, which means the most valuable skill in today's world might not be finding secret information. It might be learning how to hear your own authentic voice beneath all the noise. Because whether you approach this from a spiritual perspective, a psychological one, or even a conspiracy perspective, one thing becomes very, very clear. Whoever influences perception influences reality. Message. And that's exactly why conversations like this continue to capture people's attention. Okay, now let me tell you about this one. This is the kind of clip that immediately gets people talking, because the first thing most people are going to ask is, did that glass actually reveal something that was not visible before? And honestly, that's the part I'm having trouble with, not the part about the UFO being in the sky. How quickly this makes me think about perception, because when you watch it, you're seeing two completely different experiences happening in the same place at the exact same time. Without the glass, it's just clouds. With the glass, suddenly there's something else visible. Now, am I saying that proves there's a hidden object floating around in the sky? No. No. But I do think it raises a bigger question that shows up in spirituality all the time. How much of reality are we actually perceiving? Because if we're being honest, our senses are pretty limited. There are plenty of frequencies that we can't hear. Y'all do realize that, right? There are wavelengths of light that we cannot see. There are things that are happening around us every single day that our brains filter out because they aren't useful for survival. Most people walk around assuming that they're seeing reality as a whole, when in reality they're only seeing a tiny slice of it, like such a small piece of it. And that's not even a spiritual idea. That is just how perception works. Your eyes are interpreting information, your brain is processing it, then your mind creates what you experience as reality. So when I see clips like this, I become less interested in the object itself and more interested in the possibility that there might be layers to reality that we do not normally notice. Think about it. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and suddenly understood something that you've never seen before? The information was always there. Your perspective changed. Have you ever learned a new concept and then started seeing examples of it everywhere? The examples did not suddenly appear. Your awareness expanded. And that's why I like clips like this. Because whether the glass is revealing something unusual, creating some kind of visual effect, or simply changing the way light is being perceived, the symbolism is actually pretty powerful. Sometimes it takes a different lens to see something you've been looking at the whole time. And honestly, that's been true in my own spiritual journey. There were things I couldn't see years ago that seem obvious to me now, not because the world changed overnight, but because I changed. My perspective changed. My awareness changed as well. The questions I was asking, they changed too. And once that happened, I started noticing things that were probably always there. You just kind of just look clean past them. So when I watch this video, I'm saying all that to say. So when I watch a clip like this, I don't automatically jump to conclusions. I don't automatically assume it's proof of some type of a secret program or hidden technology. But I also don't think curiosity is a bad thing. I think it's healthy. I think it's okay to look at it and wonder exactly what's going on, or even if the video was authentic, you know. Because somewhere between blind belief and instant dismissal is a place called exploration. And that's usually where the best conversations happen. Maybe the glass is showing something. Maybe it's creating an optimal effect. Maybe it's a reminder that perception is a lot more complicated than we think. Whatever the explanation is, I need to do some more research because I would love to know myself. But but as of right now, what I can say, a real takeaway is that reality often looks different depending on the lens that you're looking through. And sometimes changing the lens, it teaches you more than whatever you're trying to see in the first place, if you know what I mean. Before we close out this video, I want to leave you with something that's been on my mind. You notice that every clip we watched today, even though they were about completely different things, they kept circling back to one question. How much of reality is shaped by what we're actually able to perceive? Think about that for a second. The clip about the glass suggests that changing the lens might change what you see. And then we looked at the voice of God technology that's designed to send sounds to specific locations instead of broadcasting it to everybody so everybody can hear it. Whether every claim surrounding those clips turns out to be accurate or not almost isn't the point for me. What fascinates me is the conversation that they start, because if science has shown us anything over the years, it's that there are things happening around us all the time that our natural senses simply cannot detect or pick up on. We cannot see every wavelength of light, we cannot hear every frequency. We've built technology that lets us observe things our eyes could never pick up on their own. Yes. So, with that being said, it makes me wonder, how much have we still not discovered? But here's where I think the conversation gets even more interesting. It's not just about what our eyes can see, it's about what our minds are willing to see. Sometimes the biggest filter isn't a piece of glass, it's our assumptions. We've all experienced it. You hear a new idea, and before you even looked into it, your brain has already decided if it's possible or impossible. We all do it. We all do. That's why I think curiosity is so important. Not the kind of curiosity that believes everything, but the kind that's willing to explore without rushing to a conclusion. Because the truth is, nobody has all the answers. Not me, not the people making the videos, not the loudest voices on the internet. We are all trying to piece together a puzzle that's probably much bigger, way more bigger than any of us realize. And you know what? That's okay. I actually think there's something beautiful about admitting that. We live in a time where information is everywhere, but wisdom feels harder to find. It's easy to get caught up chasing the next shocking headline or the next viral theory, but real growth doesn't come from collecting interesting stories. It comes from learning how to think for yourself, to ask questions, to stay grounded, to recognize when something deserves more research instead of an immediate reaction. That is a skill that's becoming more valuable every single day. So, if there's one thing I'd love for you to take away from this video today, it is this: don't lose your sense of wonder. Wonder keeps us learning, it keeps us humble, it reminds us that the universe is probably far more complex than we currently understand. But at the same time, do not lose your discernment either. Those two qualities can exist together. Yes. You can have an open mind without believing everything. You could be skeptical without becoming cynical. You can stay curious while asking some really good questions. So let me ask you something before we wrap up this video. What's one belief you've held that completely changed after you learned something new? Drop it down below and let me know. Because if we're growing, that should happen from time to time. None of us are meant to stay exactly the same forever. If this video made you think a little differently or even gave you more questions than answers, then I think it did exactly what it was supposed to do. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Let me know which clip stuck out to you the most. Was it the idea of seeing something in plain sight? Or maybe it wasn't either of those. Maybe it was the bigger conversation about perception itself. If you like these conversations and you're into them, make sure you're subscribed because this is exactly what we do here. We explore consciousness, symbolism, psychology, spirituality, all fused into one, as well as the questions that they usually don't always have simple answers to them. And with that being said, I'd like to thank you for hanging out with me today and for bringing an open mind into the space. I never want this channel to tell you what to think. I want it to inspire you to think more deeply for yourself. And with that being said, until next time, I love you, love you, love you. And I will see you, yes, you, on the very next video, Spirit Fam.